Live from Latrobe Motorsports Studios, this is Ride Along with Howie from the fast half-mile track at Latrobe Speedway, where it's grassroots racing at its finest. Here's Howie.
Race fans, now we're going to get a word with the first person who was maybe crazy enough, insane enough to do the first guest with the Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by Latrobe Speedway. We're going to talk to legendary announcer Mike Sokosky. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Well, Howie, legendary. I wouldn't go that far, but if you say so, I'll go with it. I'm doing fine, buddy. It's great to be here.
Hey, we appreciate you coming down last year, giving me a hand, showing me the ropes, and basically trying to help organize race night a little bit. And we're very excited to announce you're going to be coming down a little more often this upcoming year. So it's great to have you coming down. And I know you're a true dirt track fan and you love it. And
Yes.
It has to be good almost coming back to the dirt.
It's my son the races for him, and I probably still would. And I had the opportunity to work with my dear friend up on the mountain at Jennerstown since 2015. Made a lot of great friends, fans up there. It was a wonderful experience, but it was weird. It was weird in that being on the dirt with the Padolas at Bedford and you, Howie, at Thunder Valley for so many years, from 1993 on, for over 20 years, I didn't realize how much I missed it. It's a completely different animal. And that's, you know what I mean? That's not a shot on any sort of type of racing. It's just, when you start something, when you're weaned on something from day one, you forget how much you missed it and how much fun it was. And when all summer long you would talk to me, you and Dennis at Latrobe, and all summer I kind of just very nicely said, hey, we go riding and cruising. Finally in September, HB, you and I talked, and I said, you know what, I'm going to come out. And one of the things you and Dennis told me, and the staff is, and they said, you guys told me, and I'll never forget it. You said, Mike, be yourself. Just do your shtick. Just pretend it's Thunder Valley 2007 and do your thing. Pretend it's Bedford, 2000 and do your thing. Well, I came up to Latrobe. I did my thing as you guys instructed me, and it was an absolute blast. It was an absolute blast, and I felt like a kid. It was like going back in time and experiencing that excitement again. And the fans at Latrobe have been more welcoming and friendly. You, of course, HB, couldn't have been more hospitable, as well as Dennis and his wife and his daughter and the entire Latrobe staff. You guys kind of let me do my thing, and we all had a blast. Those 2 nights I was there on Latrobe in September.
Yep.
And when you and Dennis proposed about coming back, I mean, it's no secret I do a lot of hot rod stuff and classic car stuff, and I don't like to give all that up. You guys were more than welcoming to say, Mike, whenever we can have you, you're welcome here. So you know what? We're going to party in Latrobe in 2022. And we're going to have an absolute blast getting dirty in Westmoreland County every Saturday night, or at least a bit of the Saturday nights when I'm not out in my 65 gallons.
You could bring the Galaxy here to Latrobe, but it might get a little dirty.
It's some appearances. I'm already. It's kind of funny. Brothers in car cruises scheduled for the area, and my Jason Thomas grew up here with me. He lives in Latrobe now, works for Excel Health. He has a 69 and he keeps me up to date with all the car cruises in and around Westmoreland, particularly Greensburg and Latrobe. He always says, Mike, here you go, Saturday afternoon. all you need to do, come to the car show, shoot right over the speedway. So yeah, I have a feeling the Galaxy will be making some appearances at Latrobe Speedway.
I can't wait to see that car just come back. And one thing with Latrobe, we're grassroots racing, and
Mhm.
you know, it's about having fun, and that's the one thing I always told you. Mike, I have a lot of respect for you, and the one thing I told you is you said you were interested in getting out of the announcing end, but I told you just out of respect to you for as good and the legacy you have, you need to put that mic down the last time on your own. And I had a feeling if I got that mic back in your hand, you weren't ready to put it back down.
I think you played some reverse psychology on me, Howie. Yeah, I mean, I'm no spring chicken anymore. I like to think I'm 30 years old again, but the reality is it's not. And I've got 3 wonderful kids, 2 of which are grown. Mikey's here at the house. He's got 4 grandchildren. They love going to the ice cream stand with Pappy. They love going up to Dairy King and getting a burger or Burger King or McDonald's. And I don't want to give all that. I think I'm just missing out on it. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get out of it. Then my wife told me, she said, Teresa said, Mike, you really love this. What's wrong with just finding a happy medium, especially if Howie and Dennis are willing to kind of let you go work, work 2 weeks one. And I don't even call it work. Come out there and have fun. Go out there and have fun for 2 Saturdays in a row. Fine. Then, take a third one off and then we'll go and we'll go to the ice cream stand with the kids and the grandkids. So everyone from my wife down to my kids, to my grandkids, to Howie Bayless, to Dennis Bates, to the racers at Latrobe, who couldn't have been more welcoming. You guys are all very respectful of where I'm at in my life, and it's extremely gratifying that I'm going to get to live the best of the best. I'm going to get to come out on many Saturday nights and have fun with the great people out at Latrobe Speedway. And there's going to be some Saturday nights where I'm just going to kind of hang out here in little old Davidsville, PA, near Johnstown, and we're going to go get ice cream. So, you know what? For me, it's a win, and I cannot thank you guys enough for granting me that opportunity to live those best of both worlds.
One thing here at Latrobe, we realize how important kids are, and we do stuff like candy toss, and we do the ride along in the race cars, and
Absolutely.
we try to put a driver down at the gate. So when you're coming in, there's a race car right there, and you can go touch it, sit in it, and we have the kids club. And I hope maybe one week you can bring the grandkids and Mikey and all the kids and partake in the other stuff besides the racing here.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. When I was for and also Howie and how important it costs maybe once, twice a year. When on the Saturday nights I come up to Latrobe, I cannot believe the generosity of the racers, their families, the fans. Every Saturday night, oogles of candy was being brought up to the press box, and all it was just a way to say to those kids, we're glad to have you here. Have a ball with this candy. And you don't do it once a month or once a year. It's every Saturday.
Every Saturday night. Yep.
It's really incredible to see. And despite the way the economy is and things being tight, I would venture to guess that getting candy from the great people to Latrobe Speedway in 2022 still is not.
No, like I said, we actually have to schedule out. We have so many teams that want to do it every week, so we try to schedule it out so we make sure there's a good amount of candy to be given away every week. And
right.
Sometimes our sponsors will get in and do it too.
And that's what, and we let those kids leave And the first thing we want me to start saying on Sunday morning, hey, Dad, don't forget, can we go back to the speedway on Saturday? Can we go back to the races on Saturday? You know, and that's everyone is special at Latrobe. Everyone feels special, and it's fun to be a part of it. I feel it's re-entered. It's been a complete and total re-energizing for me. I can tell you that. I didn't know what to expect when I came back in September. And it was a nice ride home out Route 30 that night back to Davidsville. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I had forgotten just how much fun this is and how much it can be, how much fun it can be.
And it should be. I mean,
that's a good point. Yes, as it should be. Absolutely.
Me and you are both kind of honored because, we get to basically almost host a party every Saturday night. Yep. And I mean, everybody's having a good time and there's just so much stuff going on. And
Absolutely.
That's one thing that I do admire about with you. And you mentioned earlier about the family, and the Bates realize that the Bates family, they do the motocross here on every other Friday, weather permitting. And they're almost here until sunrise. They go home, sleep for an hour, and they come and we're ready to go circle track racing on Saturday night. And
absolutely,
you can argue with the Bates and everything, but they put those kids number one, and that's just what it's about. And go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, I was just from the on track. It's truly a labor of love the whole way across. And you know what? If you only can get an hour's sleep, it doesn't matter. I'm getting up to go participate in my labor of love again on a Saturday morning to get ready for the circle track racing. From us, Howie, the whole
without a doubt. And you mentioned something a little bit earlier about the kids, and you have kids. I don't. I've never been blessed with them, but it has to be a lot easier when they want to go somewhere versus you're almost forcing them to go.
Amen to that, Howie. Yep, absolutely. Amen to that. You trust me. There aren't kids they're not being dragged, kicking and screaming to come to Latrobe Speedway on Saturday nights. I can guarantee you that.
And I guarantee you're right on that too. And it's a great atmosphere, and let's not forget about we have great racing too. And it's going to be coming up here real soon, and we're debuting a new 4-cylinder class, basically a bone stock 4-cylinder class. We're going to have our other 4 cylinders back, the pure stocks, pro stocks, crate lates. We're bringing in some of the traveling series. We're going to have some late model specials, sprint cars, big blocks. I mean, the schedule just looks amazing.
Of course, April 30th. I mean, April 30th has been circled on many calendars throughout Western Pennsylvania. So it's going to be, and as we get closer, it's truly going to get more exciting than what it is right now. Absolutely.
What are you looking forward to most this upcoming season?
What am I looking forward to? I think I'm probably going to do something nice. Earlier, something I touched upon is it's honestly is just coming out there knowing fun. We kind of move around up there, and a lot of folks aren't familiar with the lay of the land, press box, and the balcony up there at Latrobe. It allows kind of run it inside to check with the scores. You can come back outside and mingle with the fans, with our, with obviously microphones and so on. It's fun again. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. I think that the presence online being there with what you guys. I'm looking forward to April 30th. I know what the years are, and we're good.
Same here. And race fans, be sure to check out our Facebook page, our website for all the latest information. And, we'll have on there when the next ride along will be on. And hey, Mike, again, I appreciate your time. And I'll be seeing you real soon. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I'm sure he's probably going to be a little more prepared. He probably went home and put on his fire suit and his helmet. Going for a ride this time on the phone is Brett Hutira, pilot of the Linex DJS Swag, number 4 Pro Stock here at Latrobe. Brett, how you doing tonight? I'm doing well, and thanks for going for a ride. Hey, while we have the opportunity, we're going to start at the beginning of your racing career. So let's go back to the last race of 2020, and here comes this number 4 Pro Stock. And he's going out there, and I recognize the person. I couldn't pronounce his name right. Probably still say it wrong, but it took me a couple minutes. But then you were out there and trying to practice, we'll say, to learn how to race against guys like Joe Kelly and all those other guys. And then we go into 2021. Here comes this number 4 car back again. Got some more decals on it. And quite quietly is making a lot of progress, getting some top 5s, moving up into points. And at the end of the 2021 season, you finished in the top 5 in the points, but you were also awarded the 2021 Latrobe Speedway Rookie of the Year. What would you say was, in that time period, the hardest part? Just the pressure you put on yourself, trying to get the confidence of the other drivers you're racing against? What was it like going from a crew guy who was going to victory lane very often, whether it be with your dad, your stepdad, your dad, Richie Logan, Joe Kelly, your brother, to actually getting behind the wheel and trying to prove that racing isn't as hard as it looks, we'll say?
Yeah, I would say confidence. Confidence was the hardest thing for me. It was really stepping out of my comfort zone, I guess, to be a driver. I've never raced go-karts, raced motocross. I've done, other than racing somebody on the street that between red lights, I've never really done any racing of any type, other than, like you said, just turning wrenches. I was never had that opportunity come up, and I didn't want to, I guess, ruin an opportunity or make a bad name for myself out of the gate. So I chose probably to play it a little bit safer than I should have, and was a little more cautious than maybe I should have to start. In the grand scheme of racing, I was probably too cautious. I don't believe that it hurt me at all, and I think it was still probably the right way to go, just to kind of get a feel of what it's like to be in the seat and try to be around other cars as much as I could and try to not make mistakes that were going to cost other people money and time and good finishes, and just try to gain the confidence I could on my own. And just learn how to be a racer, I think, was the hardest part. I think people think that it's just strapping in and going, and for some people it is, but I didn't feel comfortable just probably holding the pedal to the floor and just going for it like maybe others would. But I felt like in the end it turned out good for me because I learned a lot of stuff along the way. Just making my laps and trying to stay out of trouble.
Now, one question I would like to ask: what made you decide to go with the Pro Stock, one of the higher classes here at Latrobe, versus the Pure Stock? I know your brother Anthony Monopart, he was running the Pure Stocks. You didn't want to go race against your brother, or what made the idea to go with the Pro Stock?
Well, I would say that ever since we were kids in the backyard riding bikes. We like to make it a full contact sport, like we were playing football. And I figured that it probably wasn't best to do it with race cars in the pure stock scene, and that's part of the reason. And um, I had some late model stuff and some E-mod stuff from turning wrenches. And my dad, who's preaching, had a lot of experience with cars, and I didn't want to get into something that I don't want to say was wasting my time, but wasn't along the progression of where I wanted to be. At least where we're at now. I didn't pure stock and run it for a year or two, and then have to throw all that knowledge out to move up to a different class. I wanted to kind of get into something that I felt like I could build a knowledge base and then apply it moving on up. And then on top of that, I also had some good guidance by a fellow racer, Noah Brunel, who's been a close family friend that had a connection to SS Chassis. And he kind of gave me some inside scoop on a car when it came available, or multiple cars when they came available. And this happened to be the one that was right for my situation at that very time. And we just went full bore into it.
Now, you mentioned something about competition. And for those of you who aren't aware, you've been a very competitive person your entire life. And that actually, you were rewarded with a college football scholarship. And you played all the way through college. And to keep that competition going, you decided to get into the car racing. Obviously, you had that burning desire to want to succeed. But anything you learned on the football, could you put it to racing?
I think probably playing football, playing any sports, growing up, racing or your work or anything like that is that you what you put in, and you know, you can think about one. You can dream of wanting to do things, but until you put in the time, effort to make it things are you're not going to see them. Now, one time for things still don't work for you. I mean, that's the way life is, and just because you're trying to work out on your schedule, but putting in the time and you're putting your thoughts into it, and putting, like I said, full effort into it. I think in the end, you're going to get whatever you want to get to, you're going to get it back if you put in the time and put in the effort. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I think that goes with competitiveness. Just having to try. I like to win. I want to do is to win. I hate to lose way more than I like to win. It's that burning desire to want to do more and want to achieve more. I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned from sports and other competitiveness.
We mentioned, and I might have been off of my years. You did one or two races in 19. 20,
Yep.
20, you were the rookie of the year. Or am I wrong?
Races.
Right. 21 was your breakout year. Okay.
3 races were approved.
And that's one thing. I mean, you and your brother had so many feature wins. You had 3, and Anthony had almost a perfect season. But I know it had to be cool, if nothing else, for you both to win on the same night, which you did on 2 occasions.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Kids that grew up 3 or 4 minutes or whatever down the street.
and just keep paying kids to ride our bikes at a racetrack for fun, and we've been parking on the French stretch in the same night, and like teachers or whatever. Those are just memories. Um, it's fun to win and it's fun to do well and all that stuff. But I think it's the most awesome and most rewarding to have my brothers and they're with me doing it all. We grew up, like you said, going to the racetrack as little kids, and now we're doing basically things we never thought possible. Now it's in our grown years, I guess.
And I remember one night in particular, you guys got in trouble and you weren't supposed to come to races, and Anthony, and I believe Luke, your youngest brother, rode your bikes up here and realized you didn't have money to get in and had to ride back home before Mom realized you were gone. And I'm sure she wasn't. But it's also kind of cool because I can remember you guys running around here as little kids, and here you are, both feature winners and very fast drivers at the Speedway. And last year, man, what a year! I mean, most improved driver, but more importantly, you proved that the wins weren't a fluke by backing them up. 3 wins. I mean, that has to almost be a dream season for you.
Oh, heck yeah. We started we needed a break. We had stuff all crooked, and if you'd asked points we were going to win 3 races, I just told you were off your rocker, and then it just all came together after that. I hope that we can keep on. I guess pushing forward and just keep on making memories, seeing all the people in the stands, continue to grow the track.
And definitely, and I see improvement every year with you as a driver and the track and everything. And I'll tell you what, man, you got a badass looking hot rod this year. You redid the whole body, a lot more weight on it, but more importantly, I see a lot more sponsors, which is definitely going to help out the Hutira Motorsports team.
Yeah. Last year, especially with the way prices and things that are going in racing right now, we appreciate everyone that possibly step up and help us, because it's not any easy to be a race car driver.
And you got Line X back, DJS Swag, A1 Machine Shop, and the list goes on and on. Now, you come off the 3-win season of 2021. If you look into your crystal ball, what are the goals for this year?
Yeah. At least 3, like we did last year. I think we're capable of more of that, but I think the match last year's win too. Really hoping to have a good showing at our 4 race here at Greg, and branch out a little bit here this year, and try to do some. We've done quite a few races at Lernerville in the past, but I'd like to try to hit a few other tracks on Fridays or Sundays or whatever our schedule allows. I don't want to say that we're going to chase points. I don't really believe in getting caught up in the points chase too early. I like to just let things fall. But the biggest thing is I want to just try to win as many races as we can, and the nights we can't win, put a good product on the track and try to have quality finishes and bring it home in one piece every week to try to minimize the work on our crew guys. They put in hours upon hours every week and feel bad when they got a straight body panel. So we're gonna try to keep this thing looking good all year.
Hey, Brett, I know last year me and you were talking, and you always have your car looking good, but last year you almost did a little throwback to a guy that me and you both looked up to, Nick Jones. You said the heck with the headlights and taped off the headlights, and that was Nick Jones, something Nick used to do to his cars. Um, but I see you got the headlights on the for this year, so hopefully they'll last.
Now, short leash for everyone who's listening, and we'll give them a couple weeks to feel them out. But
Hey, Brett, why don't we go ahead and thank everybody who helps make your racing possible? The unsung heroes, the pit crew who puts in all the time, and the sponsors who help offset the expense.
yeah, they're more than I can even mention. She takes care of where everything. She got heart and soul of this team. My dad, Carol, John, Coles, Anthony, Luke, Frank, Shane, just everyone that crew, Case, the other Stacy, Jim, and then for my sponsors, Managed Steel, Machine, Gilmore Engineering, RJ's Heating and Cooling, Wholesale Transmission, DJS Swing, Red Salon, Pizza Cafe, Vital Wings, Car Wash and Latrobe, Salt Barnhart Electric, Brunel.
What an impressive list that is. Hey, Brett, we appreciate you taking time and going for a ride with me. Um, Anything else you'd like to say? Race fans, that's the pilot of the Line X DJS Swag, card number 4, Brett Hutira, who went for a ride. Thanks, Brett.
Thanks.
Well, race fans, that's going to conclude tonight's episode with Ride Along with Howie, sponsored by Latrobe Speedway, SMB Promotions, DJS Swag, and Specialty Metals, as well as our other sponsors. Be sure to check out our Facebook page, as well as our website for all the latest information on Latrobe Speedway. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in. And just remember, race season is right around the corner. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you at the races. Thanks.